Okay, good afternoon again. The next problem is the uniform motion problem. I think you are familiar with a very common concept in physics that distance is equal to the product of rate and time. So distance is equal to rate times time. Rate times time is equal to distance. So that concept will be used in solving word problems in algebra on uniform motion. Okay, let's have this one. Two trains start from towns 495 miles apart and travel toward each other on parallel tracks. So assuming that there are two towns, Town A and Town B. Town A and Town B are 495 miles apart, or the distance from point A to point B is 495 miles. In Town A, there is this train. That travels towards Town B, and Town B has also another train that travels towards Town A. They pass each other after 4.5 hours. Nagtagbo sila after 4.5 hours. So ako siyang i-drawing dire, maski di ko kabalo mo drawing kaayo. Diri ang town A, na diri ang yang town, na diri ang train. Diyan ang train. Then diri pod ang sa town B. Another train. Okay. They travel toward each other on parallel tracks. So, dila pod sila pareha og track, bangga pod sila, di ba? Bangga pod sila. Okay. Okay. They pass each other 4.5 hours later. So pag abot sa 4.5 hours, ninghunong sila, they are already beside each other, ang duha ka trains. Probably they are in a station, no, after 4.5 hours. Okay. One train travels 10 miles per hour faster than the other. So assuming that the train that left Town B was traveling 10 miles per hour faster than the train that left Town A. So dili pud but pasabot nga even if they started traveling toward each other at the same time, they will cover the same distance. No. They will not cover equal distances when they pass each other, because one train travels 10 miles per hour faster than the other train. Do you follow? Diba? Maski pag wala ning kaninga condition, it's not really possible nga the distance covered by train A will be equal to the distance covered by train B. It's not gonna be like that, di ba? What we know is that the time traveled by train A, which is 4.5 hours, is equal to the time traveled by Town B, which is 4.5 hours. So after 4.5 hours, these two trains are now beside each other. Parking sila nang-stop over sila, dili parking. Nang-stop over sila sa train station. Okay? Probably they will still proceed towards the other town, or kung asa man ganing ilang destination. Okay, and take note again that these two towns are 495 miles apart. Okay, the two towns are 495 miles apart. Do you guys follow? So I hope you are able to follow. Anyway, you can replay the video anytime you want. So we'll make use of the table. The first column will be for the train. Train A, train from town A, and train from town B. Let the train from town A to be train A, and the train from town B to be train B. Para mas dali hinumduman. Okay. And then since we know that rate times time is equal to distance, so the second column will be rate, then you have time for the next column, and then distance for the last column. You copy? Okay. Now, inasmuch as the rate is concerned, the problem categorically states that one train travels 10 miles per hour faster than the other train. So, if the rate of train A is x, therefore, the rate of train B should be x plus 10. Okay, now I am tempted to use one variable only. But to be consistent with the word problems that we already had prior to this word problem, we'll still make use of two variables. Okay, so you can let x plus 10 to be equal to y. Okay, so y is equal to x plus 10 is already the first equation. This is equation number 1. Again, like in other word problems, you may make use of one variable, you may make use of two variables. It doesn't matter, again, for as long as you do not violate any rule in algebra. Okay. Take note that train B travels 10 miles per hour faster than train A. Dili bot pasabot nga nagdungan sila og gikan sa ilaang towns A ug B nga after by the time they pass each other, they have covered equal distances. No. Dili ina na ang logic. So nagi usa nga mas paspas kaysa sa other train. But what we know is that by the time they pass each other, the time traveled by train A is equal to the time traveled by train B. So both of them have already been traveling for 4.5 hours. So equal sa diha. Ang rate lang may dili nila equal. Do you follow that? Okay. I hope you're able to follow. Dayon, applying the concept of in physics, rate times time is equal to distance. So for train A, the distance traveled by train A would be 4.5x. How do you get 4.5x? 4.5x is obtained by multiplying x and 4.5. While for train B, the distance covered would be 4.5y. Or 4.5 times the quantity of x plus 10. Pero again, to be consistent with the other word problems that have been solved, we will make use of two variables. Okay, next. Set up the equation. Actually, you already have equation number 1. I will just rewrite. So equation number 1 is that y is equal to x plus 10. Equation number 1 is actually based on the clause, one train travels 10 miles per hour faster than the other train. Okay. The train that left town B travels 10 miles per hour than the train that left train A. This is equation number 1. Now, how do you come up with equation number 2? Okay, how do you come up with equation number 2? Diba the two trains are 495 miles apart, or the two towns are 495 miles apart, where the two trains were found from the beginning. Okay. So the distance traveled by train A in 4.5 hours and the distance traveled by train B would actually be the total distance, total distance or the distance from point A to point B. Medyo libog na siya kaya kung maglibog gani ko galibog ko ani gipod sa una tong college pud ko. So may ato ang analogy ana. For example, assuming you are standing in a point, you are positioned in a certain place. Your brother or your sister is also in one point. Okay, you are facing each other. For example, ikaw ni imo ang brother or imo ang sister. Okay. You are, for example, 20 meters apart. Okay, 20 meters apart. Ikaw may magulang, mas paspas ka mo, lakaw kaysa sa imo ang brother, imong manghod, pananglitan. So, you decide that you walk toward each other. Lakaw mo, magtagbo mong duha. Magtagbo mong duha kay dahil mo ni siyang gisugo. Usabay mong basta kay magtagbo mong duha. So, upon walking toward each other, you have already covered a distance of 14 meters. Naka-cover na kag 14 meters. While imong manghod naka-cover og 6 meters. Again, the distance covered by you is 14 meters, while that of your brother is 6 meters. Okay. 14 plus 6 would be 20. And take note that before you walk toward each other, you were 20 meters apart. So in the same manner that before the train started traveling toward each other, they were 495 miles apart. So the distance covered by train A plus the distance covered by train B would be the distance from town A to town B, or the distance from train A to train B. So equation number 2 would then be 4.5x plus 4.5y, which is equal to the distance of the two towns or the two trains. 495. This is equation number, wait lang, wala nakuha sa camera. This is equation number 2. Bloopers. Okay. Next. Sunod. That's the time you can start applying the concept of systems of linear equations in two variables. Pero ako mismo di ko ganahan solve kung naay decimal diha sa equation. So I need to get rid of the decimal number. So I may multiply 10 to both sides of the equation. Diba? Pwede. So when you multiply 10 to both sides of the equation, in equation number 2, you will have 45x plus 45y is equal to 4,950. Do you follow? And then 4,950 is actually divisible by 45. Each of the variables in the left side of the equation has numerical coefficient which is 45. So the entire equation is divisible by 45. So reduce the entire equation by dividing 45 to both sides of the equation. So x plus y would be 110. Sakto ba ko? 4,950 divided by 45. That's 110. Okay. Now, since y is equal to x plus 10, that would be x plus 10, which is equal to 110. Use the substitution method in this case. Combine like terms. Subtract 10 to both sides of the equation. You have 2x, which is equal to 100. If 2x is equal to 100, x is equal to 50. 50 what? Miles per hour. 50 mph. Meaning to say, the rate of train A is 50 miles per hour. What about ang train B, sir? So, the rate of train B will be obtained by using equation number 1, which is y equals x plus 10. Therefore, y, which is the rate of train B, is 60 miles per hour. Since the rate of train B is 10 miles per hour faster than the rate of train A. Do you copy? Do you follow? How do we check whether our answer is correct? I had students before nga gusto nila sure sila sa ilang answer, or maybe they were just testing me. They were testing the waters whether or not what I was teaching them was indeed correct. There are students who are like that. Okay. And teachers with students who are like that must be considerate enough. It actually motivates teachers to prepare. Okay. Coming to class unprepared will really unleash among the students their dark side somehow. Okay, so going back, how do you check whether your answer is correct? So you go to the column under distance. So 4.5x is the distance covered by train A, while 4.5y is the distance covered by train B. So after 4.5 hours, what is the total distance covered by train A? Nakuha ninyo ang logic? After 4.5 hours, what is the total distance covered by train A? So you simply multiply the rate and the time, since distance is rate times time. So 4.5 times 50, 4.5x or 4.5 times 50 will be 225. While 4.5y, which is 4.5 times 60, will be 270. And this is for train A, and train B respectively. Again, the distance covered by train A is 225 while that of train B is 270. What do you think will be the result when you add the distances covered by both trains A and B? When you add the numbers 225 and 270, you get the sum of 495. 495 is actually, take note, the distance of train A and train B before they started traveling toward each other. So, that's it. I hope you learned something. This is, I think, the longest video so far I have ever made. 21 minutes.